Thank you. It is great. Yes. Dramatic fall here. Thank you. It is great to be here. Thank you all. Thank you, Nir. My name is Jeff Wilser. I'm the host of the podcast AI Curious and the recently launched podcast, The People's AI, the Decentralized AI Podcast, joined by Oleg. Great to be here. Oleg, please share a bit about yourself and what your North Star is at Sweat.
Oh, great question. Well, good afternoon. Pleasure being here. I'm Oleg. I'm co-founder and CEO of Sweat and Sweat Wallet. Together we call it Sweat Economy. We'll get into that a little bit later. And our North Star as a business is to make your active day as valuable as possible. Effectively, it's what are the 10,000 steps that an average person takes a day generates an income to them. So we want to make you healthier and wealthier by making you move more.
What I love about Oleg's answer, if you didn't notice this, not once did he mention AI. And what I think is cool about this not yet, no, and we'll get there. But there's so many projects, and like no shame, no judgment, many projects are launched and announced as being this AI company. And that's great. Again, there are plenty of worthy ones. But my personal speculation here is that a lot of mass adoption we'll see, a lot of real use cases of AI we'll see are a little more under the hood and not in the bright and shiny AI objects. And I think, as we'll see with Sweat and Oleg, AI is crucial to your growth and scaling, even though it's not on kind of the obvious surface level. So we're going to get to how AI is a main driver of him scaling, and from him scaling, therefore, the path of billions and trillions of AI agents. But on that journey, before we go there, Oleg, tell us a bit about the origin stories of Sweat and then how Nir came to be involved, and then we'll kind of get to the AI-ness of it all.
Yeah, we started in 2014 and with a project called Sweat Coin. As the name would suggest, we want to be on blockchain, but it was too early. We spent a bit of time trying to fork Bitcoin, but we realized too slow, too cumbersome, no smart contracts. So we spoken to Vitalik in 2015, but it was too early, and we launched Centralized.
That was pre-Ethereum, right? So you were speaking of Vitalik pre-Ethereum, right?
Yeah, Ethereum wasn't called Ethereum back then. I don't remember what was the project name, but it was research-grade code that we spent some time on, and we realized that, you know what, it was too early. It was just prone to, kind of some issues. And we launched Centralized, and we were absolutely sure that within 6 months we're going to find, if it's not Ethereum, then there will be another project that we will jump on. We scaled extremely quickly. By 2016, we already had several million users, and it was way too late because our transaction requirements became about 200 to 300 transactions per second, which would be orders of magnitude higher than Bitcoin or Ethereum were able to deliver. So by sidestepping blockchain at the beginning, we actually saved the chain that we would have built on, and we saved our business because invariably it would have been dead. So fast forward, every year we were dabbling and looking at everything that's happening in blockchain, testing various different solutions. But it only happened in 2022 when bunch of really high throughput chains went into production. Nir, Solana, Avalanche. So we looked at 14 different ones, and we chose Nir actually for 3 reasons. One is alignment and strategy for mass adoption and really driving, kind of penetration of blockchain solutions into billions of people. Second was team, which is absolutely incredible, and it's an absolute pleasure to work with them. Third was throughput, and very importantly, no cap. Because, for example, if you're building on EVM, you know that if you hit 525 transactions per second, your fees are going to start going through the roof, and everyone's going to be pissed off. Everything is going to slow down. Everything is going to become really expensive. That's not something that we could afford. Nir's sharded architecture gave us confidence that we would be able to scale horizontally. When we started, there were 2 shards on Nir. Now there are 6. And I'm hearing, based on the number of kind of hair spikes on Bo and Wang's head, that we are rapidly approaching 8. So it's been an incredible journey, but it gives me confidence in the future.
Okay, so you have grown also 2014, like well before any of this was cool, you were building this. You've increasingly gotten decentralized. You have how many users roughly now?
In Web 2, we have more than 180 million registered users.
What,
180.
180?
Yeah.
Okay.
In Web 3, we have nearly 20 million token holders of Sweat, which makes us, I believe, 9th widest held token in the world. And we have roughly 3 million active users per month, close to 2 million on-chain active per month.
I'm so glad you went there and shared that because, again, my thesis is, this might be the closest we'll get to approximating the rest, like the non-Web3 world, like actual like big companies, corporations. And that is kind of like getting those folks to embrace decentralized AI is the way I think we'll eventually, in my own personal view, we'll eventually get to, quote, trillions of AI agents. So let's now pivot to, you are not an AI company. You have been, like for a decade, you've been scaling. How are you now starting to use AI for your own growth? And then we'll kind of get into to what extent you're embracing AI agents and how you see that fitting into the larger ecosystem of kind of growing the AI agent universe.
There are several questions there, and I'll try to unpack them. You know, our approach to building is actually not idea-based, but problem-based. So the problem that we're solving is to make the world physically more active. Everyone wants that, and there is nothing simpler than simply tokenizing and rewarding you for every single step.
Wait,
does wonders.
Actually, yeah, let's give a quick like primer for those who have not yet bought into the Sweatlands. Give us like a 20-second pitch of what, for an average user, what do you do, what do you get, how does it work?
Yeah, I mean, Sweat is the value of your physical activity tokenized. We all know that our physical activity is not zero value, right?
Mine's pretty close to zero, but I hear you in concept.
I'm pretty confident that if somebody would offer you to go and run a marathon and bring back some beer, you would tell them to go screw themselves. Because you value your time and you value your calories and you value your movement. There is value there. We feel it intuitively. And what we're doing is we're tokenizing it and giving that value to you. To juxtapose it with attention economy, so movement economy, what we're building, is around the value of you being active. Attention economy that everyone's familiar with, $7 trillion economy, by the way, works in the following fashion. Google takes your attention, sells it to the highest bidder, puts all the money in the pocket, and all you get is 2 gigs with a Gmail.
Yep, got it. So shorthand, I downloaded it, all kidding aside, I have the Sweat app on my phone as when I walk here, when I walk out of here, it's capturing my steps. I'll be rewarded ultimately with Sweat tokens. All right, let's pivot now to you've been building.
And these tokens have utility.
Yes.
And we've been deflationary because I very frequently get this question. So how are you different from other move to earn apps? Well, very simply, we've been at it for 10 years. We're still around. Our Web2 business is profitable for years. Our Web3 business is on path to become profitable. And we know how to build sustainable tokenomics because Sweat was deflationary since July 2023. So we are really building for long term. And that's why I'm saying that our goal is to make the world physically active and to make your active day, the value of an active day that you get, as high as possible. So that will bring billion people and it will make them more physically active.
So when did you first bring in AI into the equation, and then what's it doing for you now?
Yeah. So coming back to, we're solving a problem, not starting with idea, which basically means we're looking at every tech that comes our way as an opportunity to enhance our product, make it slicker, faster, better, simpler. To illustrate, we couldn't build on blockchain, we launched centralized. When blockchain technology became fast enough and robust enough, we deployed it.
You're a pragmatist. You're more into solutions than an ideology.
Yeah,
sure.
Kind of anything goes as long as it pushes us in that direction. Then AI came along. We deployed our first AI product, which is an MVP, in November last year, with the sole objective of just simply starting to test and understand how to talk about it, how to position it. And guess what? We had 700,000 questions asked through that AI. And when we were developing what we're about to show you, we did not start from scratch. We didn't start with some hypothetical ideas like, what would people be interested in? We basically just looked through 700,000 questions. We brought the list of 4 to 5 that pretty much everyone was interested in, and then we pushed the boundary to integrate these answers so that you're not looking just at text, but you can actually take an action right away from your personal AI agent answer, which means that we can remove a lot of friction. We can actually remove a lot of functionality from our app. For example, DAO voting is used 4 to 5 times a year. We don't need to have a graphic interface for it. In the future, it is going to be run through chatbot and LLM. So simpler, only core things, and everything that is used occasionally can be managed through personal AI agent.
Amazing. And was there something you wanted to show or share? Is this...
Yeah. Gentlemen, is there a chance that you could run that demo? I have to say that it's working. I have it here. The problem is that there is no cable that, you know...
You can see his phone, right?
Yeah.
Everyone can see us clearly on his phone.
Yeah, it's true. If in doubt, come and, you know, approach me after this, and I'll show you that it's actually working.
Okay. So there is a thing happening here. Okay, great.
Her name is Mia. Movement in action. So what you see there are those prompts, which is 4 or 5 questions that are most frequently asked.
So this, while we're watching this, as I understand it, Oleg, this has spared your team the expense of creating FAQ pages, of creating explainer videos, of, as I'm sure many of this folks in this room know, all of the content and tasks you have to do to deal with massive onboarding. That has dramatically been reduced thanks to this AI solution. Is that right?
But most importantly, it spared our users time and effort to go and find those FAQs, filter through them, and read text. They ask a question exactly how they want, and they just get a very, very concise answer. And what you see there is, it's not just a concise answer that you're getting. For example, a lot of our users are asking, so what are grow jars, and which one should I choose? Basically, the answer is, there are 2 types of grow jars. Step-based jars is where you earn on the basis of physical activity. And if you want to create one, you just press a button, and it gives you a transaction. You just put an amount, and you confirm, and it's done. So easier interface, easier to find information, and it allows our users not to waste time, you know, trying to go to YouTube and watch some videos or go to FAQs and help pages.
One thing you shared with me off mic is your idea, and let me know if I'm getting this wrong, is that to get to true billions or trillions of AI agents in a mainstream way, that actually has to come from human beings. Can you elaborate on this, what you mean by that, and then kind of how it relates to both to you and Nir, and then maybe advice you have for a larger space that's kind of developing all of these tools?
Yeah. I believe that at this stage of AI development, everything will start with humans. Even deployment of an agent, ultimately, somebody is going to have to sit down, write some code, or, you know, give it a prompt and swipe to create it and give it some budget. So in order for those trillions of agents to appear, we either need to have a lot of builders deploying crazy number of agents, or we can give our 3 million active users personal AI agents, train them better, make sure that users build confidence, and then build into this personal AI agent capability for them to deploy AI agents on Near AI directly from directly from the agent prompt. I think that that is going to be an extremely interesting way for people to experiment, and we're going to see definitely an explosion of agents created. This is not what we're going to start with as an MVP. However, this is something that the team is extremely excited about.
I love that. I think it's a nice counterweight to the idea that we'll just have some awesome code, and then poof, these agents all appear. To your point, it kind of starts with onboarding humans for some use case, which you've been doing for a decade, and the agents flow from that.
Absolutely. And look, AI is there to make life of our users better, faster. Ultimately, I believe that we will be able to farm out to this agent a lot more than just the chat. For example, all communication will go through the chatbot. Onboarding will be done with LLM and chatbot. And we're not starting with an agent able to do transactions for you, because a lot of our users are feeling nervous about this. However, that is a destination. Especially with near account structure, I can foresee that I would give my personal agent an authority to spend, let's say, $100, swipe it off, and see what it does without worrying that this agent can potentially drain all the assets that I have on my account.
Great, hopeful note to end on. Thanks again, sir. Enjoyed it. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, Jeff.